Hello and welcome to the UFC Columbus preview edition of the Spinnin Backfist MMA show. It is Robbie Fox, it is JackMac, and it is Big Ev. We are here with an interview as well this episode with Roman Bravo Young, two-time NCAA champ, and KB No Swag joins for that interview too, because we don't have a ton of wrestling knowledge, so we got someone with the wrestling knowledge in. We're going to kick off the episode with some headlines, the first of which obviously being Jorge Masvidal has allegedly. Well, there's a police report. It happened.
There is a police report.
Jumped Colby Covington while he was out to dinner with...
At Poppy Steak, which for those who don't know is like it's a famous restaurant.
It's like Hype Beast.
It's a Hype Beast.
Miami. Really?
It's a Hype Beast, like Miami place to eat.
I've never heard.
Like James Harden. Like
celebrities go there.
After you play the Heat, you go to Poppy Steak. And then like the Instagram girls are there. The celebrities.
Bob Memory.
With the Now Boys being a part of this is...
They were there, right?
I mean, they were the drop.
Yep.
So
them and Bob Memory tweeted.
They tweeted they were with Colby in Miami, and then allegedly Jorge Masvidal rolled up on him.
This is kind of like how Pop Smoke got killed, right?
He accidentally posted. He got sent a package, and he accidentally posted his address on his story.
And then they
unfortunately rolled up on him. And
obviously, unfortunately,
who was one of my favorite rappers. But this is.
But Masvidal rolled up with, and Ev and I talked about this yesterday. I thought it was a good conversation because I respected Ev's point of view. We were on different sides. But Jorge rolled up in the surgical mask.
Yep.
In the hoodie.
His hood up, right? They said it was like hold tight.
Then he posted that weird Twitter video where he was like, show your face challenge.
Which I thought was kind of funny.
I thought it was funny, but now knowing what happened, I thought misleading, because when that came out, I was like, oh, they bumped into each other, got into a fight, and now it's like, obviously, his face is more messed up than mine, so. But it's like, if you ran up behind someone, you're Jorge Masvidal, you're going to mess up someone's face, you know?
So, all right, so I guess we'll get in. Obviously, Jack is a big Colby guy.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Masvidal guy. I've been clinging on because I'm trying to be loyal to my guy, because I think he's lost a lot of people have kind of jumped off the train, 3 straight losses. But in his defense, to literally the 2 by far best welterweights.
Agreed.
Yeah. Chimaev could change that, but say for now, right now, the 2 clear best welterweights that he's lost to. I mean, he went 5 rounds with them. It was clearly like a dominant performance. I mean, he obviously didn't get like the shit beat out of him in terms of like. If you looked at his face after, it wasn't like he got like destroyed. But Colby, listen, clearly dominated in the realm of UFC MMA. So this was my stance on it. I understand the notion of the cheap shot. You jumped him. Totally get it. People could say it's a pussy move. I understand where they might be coming from. I see it as this is consistent with what Masvidal has been from day one.
Yeah.
Askren fight, post-interview, super necessary. I would slap him if I saw him at Whole Foods tomorrow just because I don't like him. There's beef, he talks shit. Now, Colby talks shit on a whole other level than even Askren did in the lead up to the fight. I see it as he's a street dude from Miami. You talk shit about his family, his ex-wife, like
the kids especially seemed like that was a big.
What did he say about the kids?
I don't know.
Just that he's a deadbeat dad.
That's what he didn't really mention the kids.
But it's bringing. I think the deadbeat dad, like it's even just bringing up my kids, like in general. I think it's just like. Don't speak on my children. Like,
the only thing is
me and you are fighting, not my kids.
Like, on Twitter, there's this little narrative that like he like brought up the kids by name and whatnot. No, that's wrong.
He brought up the ex-wife by name, which is what Colby knew her. Like when he was living with Masvidal, they were all under the same roof at one point. So I took it as the stance of like I understand people not liking it and it being like incredibly unprofessional. I get it.
Yeah,
but I see it consistent with who he is. Where this is what I see for me. Colby is, people like Colby. I think his stock is like, after that fight, is higher than it's ever been, no doubt about it. But I see like he's clearly playing a character.
Yep.
So and I appreciate that in the sense that it's made him a shit ton of money. It's carved out a second career where he was on the fringe of getting cut, even though he was winning fights. With Masvidal, like I said, it's consistent with what he's done, whether you like him or not. He has been extremely consistent throughout his entire career. And he's being real, he's being authentic. So I personally, like, I don't fault anyone who, like, everyone understands Colby's doing an act. But I guess I don't want to say, like, relate to, like, Jorge more. I'm not saying I'm, like, from the streets or nothing. But I just see, like, he's authentic. And he's the kind of dude, like he said, like, you don't want to fuck with the wrong motherfucker because some shit might happen to you. And I think that's kind of how he took it. He even told a story back in the day, actually, Bisping told it, where when they had beef, Masvidal and Bisping, they had beef. They ran into each other in a hotel lobby or somewhere in a hotel. where Bisping was with like 6 of his boys. And Bisping didn't do anything. Masvidal literally was like, I respect you now because if the roles were reversed, I would have jumped you. And you didn't jump me, you gave me a pass, so now we're cool. Wow. So I'm saying that's just inside the mind of Jorge Masvidal. So I just think he said it's on site. If you're talking on site shit, like he got the drop on you, he ran up on you and knocked your tooth out. Like
this shouldn't surprise people.
That's kind of what I'm trying to say is where this is like authentic him, and I'm saying Colby is an actor. Like Jorge Masvidal is playing real life. He might not be a better MMA fighter, UFC fighter, whatever.
People got mad at Khabib for jumping over the cage. It's different, but it's similar in that it's like, is it unprofessional? Yeah.
This is consistent with Jorge's
But it's who they are.
You can like it or not like it. I think it's consistent with who he's been the whole time. Where Colby is clearly playing a character. He's clearly on some level being fake. I think that's like clear.
The only thing I would push back on is the thing that rubbed me the wrong way is the sucker punch.
Fair. It's fair.
I think if Jorge rolled up on Colby at Poppy Steak and Colby was there and he like grabbed him even by like the shirt and said, let's go outside.
But see, Colby wouldn't fight if he did that.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't fight even after the sucker punch either.
True. He just like filed a police report. I think he is pressing charges too.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a tough look.
Did you see that? I retweeted this. Well, it's not a tough look because he's pro. He's law and order.
He's very pro. Yeah.
I got this tweet. I'll send it to producer Tom as well. This is the funniest tweet I've ever seen about Colby. He's like, greetings, virgins and nerds. Like, it's time to roll up.
Yeah.
It's time to roll up on, where is it? No, here. Greetings, nerds and virgins. Today we're suiting up with real heroes to serve a felony warrant against that street Judas, journeyman Jorge. And it's just a picture of Colby like in like, it looks like army
military gear.
Military gear, yeah.
He looks like he's on one of those like ride-alongs where it's like the journalist will be taken along or something. Yeah.
Like he's a CNN journalist. Yeah. But Colby, I mean, it's just like that's the only thing. It's like the sucker punch is just so lame, and like
there is a blurry video at this point, which like you can't really see a punch.
The crazy thing is, it's like why didn't they record it? Like this that adds another.
Nate Diaz, his tweets were some of the funniest too. He called
like,
Bob Menery a pussy. He's like, why'd you snitch on yourself? Like he's just like from afar, like throwing out chirps, and he's kind of like nailing everyone.
There was a funny video. Someone like a internet comedian made like a spoof about it. Like it was like Jorge talking to his lawyer, and he was like from the Show Your Face challenge. He's like, "You're wearing the same fit." He's like, it's so funny. He's like, "You're wearing the same fit."
Was that the guy that does like the basketball, LeBron stuff, or was it not him? Because
I've seen him before. He's very funny. I wish I knew his name. Like I'm not trying to not give him credit. He's hilarious. He definitely has a bunch of followers.
Funny.
I just saw it on Twitter, and it was just did like a spoof of him playing the lawyer while it was so funny.
Another headline. This one's kind of similar. Chael Sonnen faces 11 battery charges for his incident in Las Vegas. We don't really know a ton about what happened here, but the rumors, the whispers, the reports are that Chael was in the right and that maybe a group of guys were messing with his wife. Okay. And he just went off.
Yeah, that was my understanding. Because there was something about him like just attacking them. Apparently they were either. I even heard, I don't know if this is true, there was one even said that one might have even like slapped his girlfriend or wife's ass. I don't know if that was true, but they definitely were harassing her on some level or said something or like whistled or like did something.
They didn't know who they were messing with.
They did something disrespectful to her, and then
weird.
he basically just kicked all their ass. It was like 5 guys.
There's that one video of him being like pulled out the hallway in Vegas, and I think he's shirtless in it. And it's like, man, I would just kill for 5 minutes prior to see the video of him like fucking Neo from the Matrix. Boom, boom,
see, I would love to see like one of those scenes out of like a movie when they just like kick everyone's ass at once. He like did that in real life.
What's the movie with Jackie Chan and
Rush Hour?
Rush Hour, when they like those fights. Those are awesome scenes.
You're just getting kicked in the face.
Did you see Conor got arrested again?
Are you fucking with me?
I'm not fucking with you. He was driving too fast.
Okay.
Double.
You can't start it like that. You can't start it like
today.
No shit.
Get out of here.
I'm pretty sure I saw it on Instagram right before we came in.
Come on, Connor. What are you doing speeding?
It stands out when you're in like $1 million car.
You can't start that with, have you seen Conor McGregor's been arrested though? My mind goes to the worst, man. It could be a lot of different
things at this point. We don't.
St. Patty's Day too? You arrest Conor McGregor on St. Patty's Day week? Is this true?
That sounds like a hate crime.
Oh yeah, 52 minutes ago.
Yep.
Arrested over alleged dangerous driving, has a 170,000 pound Bentley temporarily seized. Or euro, is that euros?
That's euros, yeah.
Euros. Shit, McGregor. That's not as bad as the other stuff, though. Spin zone, like, that's one of his more passable.
Yeah, I would say that's better than punching an old man.
He was allegedly in his 40s or 50s, Ev. So be careful with that use of the halls.
Fair
But he
enough.
owns that bar now. The bar where he hit the guy is now the Black Forge Inn in Dublin, which
Wow.
kind of interesting.
Congrats to
that
Connor.
He was like,
Business.
got arrested at that bar. Now let me buy it. Now it's mine. Try to arrest me in my own
That's
pub.
pretty awesome.
It looks pretty cool. He's coming out with a beer now, a stout.
That almost,
Okay.
that almost sounds like your like neighbors are annoying, so you just like buy their house.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like I can't get in trouble here anymore. I own it.
Another headline, this actually comes from the Dave Portnoy show, was that Paddy the Baddy Pimlet made 12 and 12K for his fight against Vargas. So 12 to show, 12 to win, plus the $50,000 bonus. It's tough when you hear how low the numbers actually are. Like we hear the fighter pay stuff all the time. People, every time I interview Dana, ask him about fighter pay, ask him about fighter pay. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that when people say that. Because it's like, do you want 23-year-old Bob Fox to sit across the table from Dana and say, pay fighters more? He's not going to do it.
The only thing is, it's like, so Paddy held out a little bit, right? Initially, because he didn't come out of nowhere. People knew who he was. He was in Cage Warriors. So, and Paddy agreed to this contract.
Totally.
So
That's kind of what I was.
like,
I was surprised that he was on the minimum after there was a point in time he was going to sign. He doesn't. He waits. He's a two belt guy in Cage Warriors.
And he's still on the
I
minimum.
was surprised he was still on the minimum after the name and little like
crazy.
pedigree outside and everything.
Dave's reaction says it all on his show, like kind of how shocked he was by it. Like the people inside of the sport are kind of like, yeah, it's brutal, 12 and 12K. The people outside the sport are like, how is that even like legal? Because it's like rough and rowdy fighters do get paid more. Not all, but
not
like,
all. I think Paddy's it's an example of like, so Paddy's at the high end of the like, wow, how are they getting paid 12K?
Yep.
But then if you compare some of the other people on some cards at like UFC Vegas, like the openers on those cards, like how are they getting paid 12K? Because if you're on an
In the
opener
opposite
in front of nobody on a top rank card, you would get paid like $500.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of both. This is fighter pay is like the big topic right now.
Yeah. And it's such a weird example. Paddy's such a specific, like, you can't compare him to anyone else necessarily.
I agree with that 100% because it's like how many people in the UFC are going to be third on a card, right? There was 2 more fights before or after him. He's third on that card. How many guys like that are going to be the people's main event? Not people's main event like, oh, watch out for this fight, like actual people's main event.
Yeah.
I mean, also, who's going to be that high up on a card in their second UFC fight?
Yeah. Nobody.
Not many.
Nobody. Connor wasn't that like, well, he kind of was. Connor kind of was. Are you
You're
okay
good.
over there? Yeah. Connor was okay on a second fight, but it didn't, I mean, maybe it did feel like this. His height was pretty fucking big on a second fight. Was his
I
second
think he actually
fight
might have
Holloway?
headlined.
Connor's?
No, he didn't headline on his second fight. He fought Brundage,
he-
Wasn't there a
Headlines-
UFC Ireland?
UFC Dublin, which
Dublin.
he headlined.
Wasn't he high up on the Boston card too, when he fought Seaver?
He headlined that, but that was right before Aldo. That was his last fight before Mendez, it turned into. But I guess it is comparable, McGregor and Paddy at the same time, which is crazy to say that out loud. Like, we have the fighter that's comparable to McGregor. Let's see. All right, his first was against Brimage. His second was against Holloway. That wasn't a headliner. His third was against Diego Brandao. That was a headliner in UFC
Okay, so
Dublin.
that's fucking.
Third fight was a headliner.
I mean, Paddy at this point, he could easily headline a fight night
I mean,
in terms of just like star
if they
power.
wanted to do the place where he's already sold out in Liverpool, yeah.
But yeah, I think he could sell out even against a can. I think
Yeah.
you could sell
Oh,
Anfield.
yeah.
Anfield's not that big, but actually, Anfield is big when you consider you can fill up the soccer field because the cage obviously is just the circle in the middle of the field. But I think he would be able to sell out around like a 50,000 seat. Like he's like everything, especially in Liverpool too, because Liverpool and London aren't like right next to each other. It's like
it's
Philly, New York
3 or
City.
4 hours.
Yeah, it's like Philly, New York City. Not Philly, but more like even Pittsburgh. It's like people can't just go to those. And Liverpool, there's going to be a different sect of people going.
Much bigger sect. Some more headlines before we get into this interview. Figgy versus Moreno 4 will happen in July. First time ever, I think people are just fighting back to back to back to back. And I don't have any issue with it. I'll watch these guys fight 100 times.
It's incredibly justified.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is that first fight being a draw when it clearly was kind of like
Yeah,
figure
because
it
of
out
the point
win,
deduction, yeah.
just kind of like fuck the whole sequence up.
It did. And another one, this one was random, but I thought very funny. Jared Leto and McGregor tweet at each other, especially after we saw like Jared Leto ringside a couple times. I think Jared Leto said like, oh, I would play Conor McGregor in a movie just because he's such a big fan. And McGregor said like, come on down to Ireland and I'll teach you how to play the role or something along those lines.
I sneaky think he could do it. He's a method actor.
He probably could.
He has the beard. I think he could sneaky like. I think a guy like that, you'd be surprised how much he could just like own the man. Like he could just learn the mannerisms and
I'd like to see it just
accent
because
and
like
everything.
what would it look like, you know? Like
Just
I
see
could
Jared
see
Leto
him
walking
with
around like this.
You know when he had the braids? Like I could see Jared Leto with that look going
Yeah.
on.
of
People
him
were
just
"What
like
the
of
fuck?"
him just sleeping Aldo.
Yeah, Jared Leto's one of those weirdos where I could see him like legitimately getting the McGregor chest tattoo.
That's what
and
I'm
being
saying. Like,
yes,
I could
it's,
see
like,
him going
part of my-
so
yeah.
like far into it
And you're like,
that
all
he
right,
could
dude,
pull it
you
off.
You don't need to get those tattoos. Shia LaBeouf did that. He got like an entire chest tattoo for like one role. And the director was like, you really didn't need to do that, dude. Like, chill out. But that's Shia LaBeouf for you.
Yeah, and their method, that would be awesome. I mean, 100% would watch.
Maybe Shia could play Chad Mendez in that movie.
Just gets knocked out by Jared Leto.
Yeah.
Who would play? Who the fuck is that guy?
Jeremy Stevens.
Who would play him?
Oh, that's a good question.
You would need someone
probably
like
someone we don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
that's a good point.
It would have to be
Although
someone
it would
they
be
found off the
ironic if
street.
it was like, who the fuck is that guy? And it's like Matt Damon.
Yeah, Brad Pitt or something. Yeah, like you get a super famous actor. All right, let's get into this interview with Roman Bravo Young, and then we'll throw over and do UFC Columbus picks after that. We are here with Roman Bravo Young. We are here with KB. We are here with Big Ev. We've got the wrestling attire on because we've got a two-time national champion in the building. Look at the trophy. We were just saying the trophy should be on a nicer table. It is Barstool, so we got it on, a Bill's Mafia breakable kind of beer pong table. How you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Just wrestled Jersey Jerry, so how are you feeling? Was that a tougher matchup than the national championship?
It was, he provided me a different challenge, but I'm excited for you guys to watch that. It's going to be a fun one.
I've heard fighters say, like, if you're fighting somebody that's never fought before, they're going to land, like, one lucky shot on you because you just don't expect it. It's unorthodox. Did Jersey Jerry do anything?
I'm almost positive no.
No?
It was probably just cumbersome to have to touch him.
Yeah,
And all the gross, like the contours of
You,
his fat and...
you call wrestlers like him in wrestling a fish.
It's a fish.
He's
That's what
considered
we-
a fish.
Yeah?
He's
Is that what
below
you
a
guys
fish.
say?
He's a tadpole. But yeah, that's when someone sucks ass, we call him fish.
Fishes.
What was
It's
the
a
weight
lot
difference
smaller
like?
in person, like you.
Yo, if you want to get it, we can get it.
KB's
I
talking
have
shit.
to. I
He
feel
is
like I have
talking
to.
shit.
He's talking shit to the champ.
Since he came into
Holding
the
his
building,
trophy.
yeah.
All right, Penn State, you guys won your what title?
I think it was the 10th in like 11 years or 9th in like
How many since you were there?
2. That was my second team title, and that was my second individual.
Does it kind of suck like sharing an individual title with your teammates? You're not like the only one.
No, I think it's cool to watch them win too. And
Yeah.
5 for
guy.
5 though, that's not easy to do. That's unheard of. I don't know how Penn State does it, but
How do you do it?
that's a good question. People keep asking me, but it's just
You guys
Just
seem like
KO.
you have like a really laid back team. You guys have fun. You don't like stress out. When you're like before matches, you're always chilling, laughing, playing. You think that helps?
I don't know about you, but I'm stressed.
Yeah?
Stressed out hell all
You
the
get
time.
nervous as fuck?
I wouldn't say nervous, but I just don't want to lose.
Right.
But
So
with
it is
Kale,
high
with Kale
stress.
and his mindset, and the way they talk to us and treat us, just the mental aspect helps you in those big moments.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just not. We're never overwhelmed. They never yell at us. We never feel any pressure.
Right.
So it's just like what they do is just a lot of other coaches don't do it. And I know that because I've traveled everywhere I trained. I know people on other teams. It's just a different what they do over there.
I was gonna ask, like, what do you think the difference is him as a coach? 'Cause obviously, he's like the most dominant like college wrestler ever. Because I'll relate to like other sports. Like they say, for example, like say like in basketball, like they say like Jordan, they don't think he'd be like a good coach because like almost like his bar is like too high. Like what about him? Like you think him being so dominant, it's almost like hard to ask what he was able to do out of other people. Like what's like the difference with him as a coach that makes it like work?
Well, you guys do recruit guys who are on his level.
So they do. He does recruit good guys, but I think like for me, the way I see it is I just got to buy into what he teaches because results speak for himself. So like, why would I not listen to him? He's David Taylor, Ed Ruth. Let's talk about all the champs they already had, the team titles they've already had going in. So he's like, just trust me. So I just put all my trust in him because of what they've already done. But I don't know how he started it. I'm curious to know how he got what he has now going. I've been around it. I understand it a little bit, but I don't know how he got it going from like coming here from another school.
How was like how did he recruit you? Like what was that like process like?
Yeah, so it's funny. I never took a visit there. I didn't know what it was.
So you're from Tucson.
Tucson,
which
Arizona.
Isn't really a wrestling hotbed. I wouldn't say at all.
Not at
the
all.
state of Arizona in general.
Arizona wrestling is not good at all compared to these other states.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a couple good guys here and there, but living in PA, I watch some of these kids. I'm like, yo, how are these little kids so damn good so early? If I had if I had what they had at age like 5, maybe I could be better than I am now. You know, so it's just crazy to watch these young kids. They're so talented at 5 years old.
PA has the elite clubs. Like these guys are going cross country at 5, 6, 7, and I think a lot of them do burn out. So.
Yeah, I think their dads. You know, there's some dads out there who take their
dads and the moms. The moms will also they're the most abusive.
Oh, really?
You know, like the youth tournaments, you'll see kids getting slapped,
Oh my god.
choked,
Come on.
hit by their parents.
Come on.
parents
Yeah.
running out on the mat. Stop
Your
it.
dad had a great
I
reaction
was gonna say
to
he
your
like
national
collapsed
title,
after
yeah.
you just won this one.
That was actually my grandpa.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
So it's my grandpa. He put a lot of time in me. He's the one who got me started wrestling. So, and he's just like all he ever wanted for me when I was a little kid was just to win the state title. So like this is just everything to him. And every match he calls me crying. And seeing that, you know, that's really cool because no one knows the backstory to that. And he's just super excited. He fell over like someone shot him. I was like, what are you doing?
It was funny on the broadcast. They just like obviously like won and they just panned to him and he just was like laying on the ground.
On the
It's so
floor,
funny. It was
yeah.
great.
Like he just wrestled
Yeah,
the
I was
match
like,
and was
what are you doing?
exhausted, yeah.
But, you know, he's just happy and excited.
Which win was the best feeling?
I think the first title, my first NCAA title was the best
Got
feeling.
you.
But this one was cool because it was like a monkey off my back. And it's easy to win one, but it's harder to repeat.
Especially against Dayton Fix, who might be the best NCAA wrestler who never won a title, thanks to you.
You know, yeah, that's what we were talking about this earlier, but he's gonna have his time. His time is gonna come. But if I wasn't in that weight class, DeSanto could have one, Fix could have one. Fix is tough, second in the world right now. You know, so
That's what I'm
it's
saying. Like
it's-
he could very easily win an Olympic gold one day.
No, 100%. So, but like I said, I always give a lot of credit to him because he pushes me, and so does DeSanto. They bring out a different version of me. Like I've worked my ass off just because I know that I got to beat them.
So
like
DeSanto is kind of like the heel of college wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
people
a
don't like
wild
him.
card. He has a lot of haters because he goes crazy.
Yeah.
He's a hothead. He hates losing. What is your relationship with him?
You know, we actually talked a little bit after the tournament, and I was just like, yeah, I appreciate all the battles. Them shits were fun, and like, but like our matches are just. That's one person. If I didn't want to wrestle one person, it's him.
Really?
He's Iowa guy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He tires me out just watching it.
He presents a different challenge that a lot of people don't really understand, and we're complete opposites. I'm more like chill, laid back, slickness, and he's like breathing fire for 7 minutes
Yeah,
straight,
yeah.
like just coming after you.
Even the way he was grabbing the back of your head, it looked like he was like smacking you in the back of
Yeah,
your
he's
head.
thinking like
He does so, like, clubbing the shit out of me, like
Yeah.
doing all this stuff, and even at the duel, if you watch it, he was doing a lot of extra stuff. But Keo doesn't like that stuff, so it's like, don't fall into that. Just be calm,
Right.
and just keep wrestling.
Was there any moment in that semifinal where you were like legitimately worried because like you're down a point, or are you like, I have this in the bag? No, this is like.
You're probably adrenaline.
Yeah.
You don't even think consciously. You
After-
just go on muscle memory.
Before I touch on that, after the Fix match, everyone was like, "Yo, you wrestled so good." Like I don't even remember how I got that takedown.
Really?
It was just
Oh,
like,
it is. You
like I
black
don't
out,
remember
Blackout
nothing.
in the
Yeah.
match, yeah.
I don't remember how I got the takedown. They're like, "Yo, that's a sweet ankle pick." And I didn't realize that I did that.
Wow.
But like when I'm wrestling DeSanto, yeah, I wrestle him so much that I'm just so used to his feel that I never feel in danger, but I just don't know how I'm gonna take him down. I know I need to get one takedown, I don't know how, but it's gonna happen. Just keep wrestling.
Just happens, and you like come
Yeah.
to after the match, like, oh shit, I guess I won in that battle.
And a lot of people like my style. A lot of people like I do shit that I can't teach and shit that I don't even practice. It's just like,
Yeah.
just like my feel. Like I don't think I could ever hit some of the stuff I do it again.
Like when you had like at least a couple like ESPN highlight.
Yeah.
Do you like practice those moves, or is that just
No, you
like
can't.
go in like I'm gonna do this, or
You can't practice. It's literally all just feel because I can't hit a backflip in practice. Some of the stuff like front.
But in the match,
flips,
you're like, yeah, I'm gonna hit this backflip. And
Yeah, I
it's gonna
just
look
like
awesome.
I just try to just be free out there and just let my body flow. Because when you're in the flow state, that's when you're in the best. But I can't practice front flips. KO doesn't like that stuff.
No.
Do you think like part of that like creativity in your style is why people think it's going to translate really well to MMA?
That too, yeah. But not only that is, I hang around a lot of fighters. And I just work hard. And I'm fast. I got the footwork. So I think I can make the transition well. And obviously wrestling is the base to have, I just love.
Yeah. Have you done any punching?
Quite a bit, yeah. I mean, I
So you're- yeah.
train with Dom here and there, get him ready for his fights. He's going to have a fight coming up soon. I'll be in his camp. And, yeah, so I do a little punching with him, do jiu-jitsu. Dominic Cruz.
Very casual name drop.
Yeah,
just
Dom.
Dom.
Maybe the
Just
best man
Dom
of all time.
I was like, is he talking about Dominic Cruz?
Yep.
That's my guy. When I fight, he's going to be like my main coach. And he's going to get me set up right. He knows all the people, connections. So I'm excited for that path. He's a good dude. He really cares about me.
In the meantime, your college career is over. Did you like hit on any vices you've been looking forward to? Food, alcohol, drugs, partying, anything that you couldn't do that you can now do?
I did drink a little bit after.
There we go.
I did drink a little
You
bit.
deserve a couple drinks.
But-
Natural champion.
But I haven't actually
not like-
celebrated yet. I'm gonna celebrate soon. I got some cool events coming up at school. Gonna have a national champ night at this bar called Champs with DJ Pauly D. So
Champs is the
Yeah.
best. Champs is the best.
I got that set up. That's gonna be a banger. Just enjoy it with my boys. It was a long season. We deserve it. So
Oh, absolutely.
So it's funny. So I was watching a Bustle with the Boys on our other podcast. They did an interview with Michael Chandler, and he talked about a story. He obviously UFC fighter, wrestled in college at Mizzou, and he told a story about when he was in college. He was at a house party, and he ended up slamming a guy who was visiting on a recruiting trip, who ended up being Blaine Gabbert, like first overall pick. Any like crazy stories mingling with other athletes or anything?
Yeah,
I party at Penn State. It's a good time.
I got this funny one. So summer, we just got to Penn State. Me and my roommate Brody Teskey. That was my freshman year roommate. He wrestles at UNI now.
Iowa
but
boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went out. We went hard that summer because I didn't really go out in high school. I get to college. I'm like, yo, what's going on? So, Micah Parsons. That's my boy too.
course.
So we went out quite a bit. But Pat Fryermuth.
Yep.
I didn't know who he was. I didn't know nothing. He didn't know who I was. We're freshmen. He's drunk as shit one night in the elevator, and I'm in the elevator with him. We're on the same floor, and I'm eating Pringles. He looks at me, snatches them, and just walks away.
Wait, this is
Damn,
a
what?
football player?
He plays for the
plays for
Steelers
Steelers.
now. He's
Oh,
really
shit.
good. Yeah,
Okay.
very
Yeah,
good player.
yeah.
We're in the elevator. He just snatches
Big
my
guy, I'm
Pringles.
guessing?
Yeah, he's tight end.
Like-
Got to be like 6'5".
And I didn't know what to do
Yeah.
because he's 6 foot. He just snatches my Pringles, walks away, and I was like, yo, what the fuck?
That's a disrespectful
Yeah, that was
move.
a- what
I'd
the
rather just
fuck?
get punched.
I was waiting for you to be like, yeah, one time I suplex Saquon
No.
in the
You got your
backyard.
Pringles snatched.
I got
yeah,
my.
so what'd you do?
I didn't do nothing because yo,
Would've done
who
the
is
same.
this dude? He don't
Yeah.
I'll really wrestle him right now. Let's go, right? But
Right.
it was cool to see, 4 or 5 years later now he's killing it for the Steelers, and then I'm where I
Did you
am.
ever bring
so.
it up to him?
Yeah, did you ever talk about it?
No, but
Let's give him a call.
Yo, actually, all joking, him and Jerry are like boys.
Really?
Yeah,
We
we
gotta
Pringles guys.
get a formal apology. out of
Maybe you
him.
just got to win, that was for the Pringles.
yeah, I need an apology for that one because I always remember that freshman year.
Damn,
That's so funny.
crazy.
On my team, a lot of the lighter weights, they had something to prove, so they would just fight the football team all the time.
Including you?
Not me.
Oh.
No, I'm a realist.
I was FaceTiming Mike right now. He came to a lot of the wrestling matches, and we went one live go, and I did take him down.
Who's this? This is
Micah
the guy-
Parsons.
Who was
Oh.
for the defensive rookie of the year this
Yeah.
past
Oh,
year?
shit.
Like maybe
Yeah.
one of the best defensive players in the league. Like immediately.
Yep.
Phenomenal.
Before COVID year, he came and played spike ball. After he's like, let's go one takedown. Took him down, walked out.
What'd
He'll
you go
never
with?
admit it.
Damn.
What
You
kind of
won't
He's
takedown?
a big boy. So
I
it was
went,
like 240.
I think I just kind of ducked him, and he wanted to keep going after that. And I was like, no, bro, I got my one takedown. That's all I need. So, but you know how he is. You know
That's
how
how
he
it
is.
is.
He's
yeah.
like running back.
He's
It's
not.
over.
Nope.
That's awesome. What else? So when you do training with like Dominic Cruz, like what else are you doing? Like jujitsu stuff too? Like you doing the whole gauntlet?
Yeah, the
of-
whole thing. So I do whatever he does, and then I just teach him his wrestling, or we just find new tactics. We watch a lot of film, but man, that guy's IQ is insane.
Unreal.
People don't understand. Like, some people don't like the way he is on the mic sometimes, or just like the way he talks. But behind his IQ for fighting is just insane.
He's
What
the
is
most
his
like
wrestling like? Yeah.
His wrestling is really good. He wasn't like this big wrestler in high school or anything like
Yeah,
that.
that's not
but
what he's necessarily known for.
his wrestling is good, but it's MMA wrestling. The way I look at it is just the little things he does that won't work in wrestling, but it'll work in fighting with wrestling. Because having shoes on compared to not having shoes on,
Yeah.
people can kick out of when you have the lock on the legs. So it's just a little bit different. But he's good, and his knowledge is off the charts.
Who do you like watching in MMA where you're like, oh shit, like they're a great wrestler?
For me, I only like watching Khabib and his boys. And
Oh, yeah?
Interesting. Okay.
My goal is to get around them and just wrestle with them for a week. I know he has a couple little guys like Usman and
Yeah.
the one who just fought Tim Elliott.
Umar.
Umar, yeah.
No, Tagar.
Oh no, what's his
Tagar, or-
Yeah, Tagar. It last starts with a U. It's like Bakale or
Something,
their names
yeah.
are- I know.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's like my goal is just find a way I can meet up with them for a week and just train and just wrestle them.
Have you been to Russia?
Not even
Or,
now,
like,
or
out
AKA.
there?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
took DC's number down after nationals. Like, yeah, I need to come out. I just want to wrestle these guys, and they talk about like that's all they do. 35 minutes. Let's do it.
Was that your first time meeting DC?
No, DC knows who I am, and we have a little rivalry. Him and Dominic Cruz go back and forth.
Yeah.
They put a bet on. I'm chilling in the hotel before my match. Dom's with me in the room. He's like, DC wants to bet on this match for the second year in a row. So I'm like, all right, bet. I was like, I'm feeling confident. You can put the money on me. He's like, you better not lose. So I think they bet like $300.
Oh wow.
Got
So
him his
that is
money.
a little
So
rivalry with
DC's
DC.
0-2, but he's
Is he betting against you because you're a Kale guy?
he went to Oklahoma State too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So
That's tough. A little tough for DC. Yeah.
So, are you going for the next Olympics cycle, or would you rather just do MMA?
yeah, so I'm gonna be training a little bit of both. I want to do freestyle. So one of my goals always to just get a world medal freestyle. That's just something I want to do and travel internationally, wrestle a little bit, and then after 2024, I'm gonna switch over to fighting completely.
Yep,
So,
perfect.
But I just want to wrestle. I feel like I'm young right now, and wrestling, you can fight when you're for a long time when you're older. So wrestling, you just kind of keep going right now because I'm only keep improving and I'm taking jumps, and I just wrestled the second best dude in the world
Exactly,
in freestyle,
yeah.
and I haven't took the time to put.
I was gonna say, like, you haven't really
Yeah.
put full effort into freestyle.
No, at all, and that's one thing I've noticed. I talked to my coaches about it. I haven't really took freestyle as serious as I took folk style because you get to college and like this is everyone only wants one of these. This is like the national championship. That is like
Absolutely, yeah.
people would say this is like in the United States. This tournament's probably bigger than the world championship.
Well,
just for the
we have
people.
Olympic medalists, world medalists,
Yeah.
world champs who didn't win one.
Yeah.
That's
It's
crazy.
that just goes
And
to
like,
show
people
how
are
hard it
saying
is.
like the college season is physically and mentally harder than any other thing. Even like
brutal.
just the making weight every week, all the dual matches, just like
Sometimes
said, like,
sometimes you just don't feel like wrestling. There's some duels where I'm like,
yeah.
I don't want to fucking
Yeah.
wrestle. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just not in the mood to wrestle. I just don't. And you still got to go out there
back
and
to
do
back
it.
to
life,
back
yeah.
to back.
It's
So
like,
I think like the main deterrent for guys who just graduated national champs is like the money. It's tough to like eke out a good living from like on the senior circuit unless you're like a Burroughs Snyder type. But it feels like we're at a point where you can market yourself more. And a lot of wrestlers just refuse to like market themselves as personalities like on social media. I think that's the ticket. Like make yourself a personality more than just a wrestler.
yeah. I think me and Gabe will do.
You guys, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
you are two of the
but-
few who like really take advantage. Like I can market myself, I can get deals, I can be more than just a wrestling guy.
And like, I don't want to be one of those people who is 31 still trying to make a world team that you're probably not gonna make an Olympic team. Like, I understand 1 in a million people is gonna be an Olympic champ. Like, everyone always says, "Oh, what are your goals?" And people are like, "I just want to be an Olympic champ, bro." Do you know, like, come on. What are the chances of that? Like,
I feel bad. Like, these guys are 33.
I feel bad too, but like, you got to keep it real sometimes with your goals. That's why I'm not saying I want to win a world gold medal. I said I want to win a world medal. That's reasonable for me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I want to be an Olympic champ. I'm gonna try, but like, it's not like I'm gonna be an Olympic champ. You know
It's
what I mean?
not like you're gonna like go after it for the rest of your life. You're like, I'm going after it for one cycle and then moving on.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is.
So with the MMA flyweight, is that where you're looking, or would you stay at like bantamweight-ish where you wrestle like now, kinda?
Yeah, I think I would go up flyweight because I'm not too big. You know.
Have you ever made 25?
I haven't
Cutting down
I
that
haven't
low?
tried to cut. The
You haven't
lowest I've
tried?
ever gotten was like 31-ish. But
Is that like a brutal cut for you, or?
it's not too bad. I just made 33 3 days in a row, you know. So obviously in fighting you have more time to recover. At NCAAs we weigh in 3 times over 3 days. So imagine that.
It's crazy.
Check this out. Every night after NCAAs, I'm 8 pounds over.
Wait, really?
Wow.
8 pounds over.
Oh, after the tournament,
No,
or
after-
when you have to weigh in the
Yeah.
next day?
We have to weigh the next day.
So
After-
each day they make weight, and then the following day they get 1 pound, but that's that's nothing.
Yeah.
I'm 8 pounds over, and it's just like, oh, here we go again. And I got to go lose 8 pounds.
8 pounds?
The reason why I get so big, people are like, oh, well, why do you get so big? That's stupid. Every match I wrestle, I got to put my best foot forward. So I'm going to drink and eat until I feel like I'm ready to go. I'm not going to sit here and drink one little
tried
water.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So like people are holding their weight. I'm like, no, I got to feel good. Like when I'm wrestling DeSanta, I was like 145.
Holy
Wow.
shit.
Fully loaded.
Why not? Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, I'm gonna feel good. This is to get into the finals. I don't care how much work I got to lose to cut
So
weight.
you finish the
tonight.
matches for the day, you weigh yourself. What do you put on?
just like-
Put on the sauna suit or
You
treadmill?
you can't do that in college.
I did it.
So, but
They don't check. They do not check.
Well,
That's why I was so drained. I would go
Yeah.
put the sauna suit on, get in the sauna. If there wasn't a sauna at our facility, I would Google nearest sauna. I would make sure I got to a sauna.
jump in the hot tub, sit in the hot tub,
The hot tub.
sit in there.
I see a lot of MMA guys do that. Yeah, they sit in
Patty
the,
did.
they sit in
Like
the hot
Patty
bath.
just made
yeah.
the bath like super
Yeah.
hot.
That's what I do too. Sit in the hot tub, get out, wrap up, and just keep doing that for like 2 hours and just go to bed. But the thing is, I'm 8 pounds over, but a lot of it's just water weights. I just weighed in, so that the hot tub just sucks it all out. But the thing is, I did all year long. Like every day, I would just jump in the hot tub, so then you don't feel like poop because my body's used to it.
Damn,
Kale.
that's crazy.
He seems stoic, emotionless. Has he ever snapped?
He hasn't. He doesn't really snapped on me. He doesn't really snap. You know, he gets upset when people aren't doing the right things. But a lot of people.
He's not a screamer.
No, he doesn't scream. He's always a chill guy. But he just wants the best for us. Like he just wants to see his athletes happy. Like he doesn't care about anything. Like actually, no, he does care. Oh, that dude loves to win. Actually, take that back. He has a problem. That dude likes to win.
It's
but
not just everyone have fun out there. He's
Yeah.
like, have fun and come back with that fucking dub.
Yeah, he's like. I know he was happy after nationals. Though, you
Right.
know.
He had to
he
be.
definitely
Do you
had
get to
to
keep
be.
the trophy too, or does that go back to the school?
This one's
That
mine.
one goes to you. Team trophy
Then
goes
we
to
get
the
a
school.
big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will they have like kind of almost like I don't call it a replica, but like another one of this that they'll say that have like your name on it too, like individual at the campus, or
No, this is just ours.
what about like the one you won last year, like same thing?
Yeah, same thing.
What
And
are you
then-
doing with them? You like hang them up? You give them to someone?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I got like 5 of these because
Yeah.
you get one for
Not
get
a
a little
big
one
deal.
for a team,
5.
2 team rings, two like my own rings, 2 team rings, 2 Big Ten rings. So just a whole bunch of little things.
You
That's
need like
cool.
a trophy room at this point.
Yeah, I'm just gonna save all this stuff for now, and these are just memories. You know, it's cool, but life goes on. Like I remember before the finals, every year, Kale just tells me, no one's gonna remember this in 10 years.
Oh, nice.
That's
like-
one way. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I guess that
No one-
alleviates some anxiety.
no one's gonna
But they
remember this.
will.
Yeah, like back to back, they'll remember this in 10 years.
Maybe.
We'll be talking about when you're in the UFC. Come on.
Penn State wrestlers, since you've been there, the ones that you know, maybe not the most accomplished, but who is the most talented in your opinion? From my vantage point, I always thought Nolf was like the funnest to watch and like
Yeah.
the most talented appearing. But I
That's
don't
who
know.
I like to style. like when before I got there, that's who I watched. Sometimes before my matches, I'll just watch him just because he was so dominant, and he just kept going forward, gas tank for days. But I think, I mean, everyone knows who he is. But I remember I got my freshman year, and he just got my ass whooped. Like, fuck, this dude's good. What do I do? I can't get out from bottom. I was like, yo, this dude's good. Nick Lee.
Oh yeah,
Bro.
Beast.
But like people, because he's so overlooked. People don't understand. He's been
his whole career.
His whole career. People kind of showed him some respect after he beat Zayn. He took third at World Team Trials last year. That's when people started like really showing him some attention. But I've knew that since my freshman year. He put it on me. I was like, wow, this kid's good.
Is that like the most humbling thing of all time when you just get dominated in practice by someone you didn't expect to?
I was used to it, so no.
Yeah, and then every single day I go with Thomas Gilman though. So like,
God, you guys have so many of the best wrestlers in the world.
Dude, me and him
in your practice.
Yeah, me and him wrestling is just. That's
PA for me was like their top skills just are so far ahead of anyone else in the country.
Well, I mean, these little kids are getting coached by David Taylor.
I know.
Yeah,
just gonna get what you guys are just gonna be a powerhouse for years.
I know, like, what is wrestling going to look like? Even MMA, what is MMA going to look like in 20 years?
I think it's going to be more wrestler heavy.
It's wrestler heavy, but it's going to be, kids are going to be good right off the rip. Like
that's what I mean. Away. Like, people are just training. Like, it wasn't a thing 20 years ago where people get their kids into MMA training when they're 5. And now it's like they're doing it. They're getting them into wrestling early. Like you said, like the programs in Pennsylvania, places like this.
And it's
going to get crazy.
UFC is like just taking over that every weekend. And when you watch those events, it's like, yo, how can you not want to do that? That looks, like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I watch them. I'm watching people get knocked out. I'm like, well, that's how I could not want to do that.
Yeah.
Concussions.
There's a lot of reasons someone like me would look at that and say,
what was
I
your
don't want to do
major?
that.
Mine?
Or what is it? Yeah.
RPTM. Rex and Parks, sports management.
Rex and Parks?
Yeah.
They swapped that around.
The easiest major there, but we're gonna work with it.
Yeah, do your thing with that.
Yeah.
See where it takes me.
Parks and Rec's a great show.
Never seen it.
Never seen Parks and Rec?
Never
Did you like not watch like movies or TV?
Wrestlers are
I
sheltered.
didn't. Yeah, I did. I don't watch
Yeah,
movies. I didn't. Like this season was just fucking miserable to me.
Really?
Yeah, like I
Dude,
enjoyed.
the college wrestling season is so miserable.
I enjoyed myself.
For me, like sucking at wrestling makes it so bad, but even like when you're
even being the
best in
two-time
the
national
world, even if
champ,
you're
like,
not,
you're
it still
miserable.
sucks. Yeah, it's like just like it still sucks to like wake up every day, go through the same cycle. You can't eat or drink what you want. You have to keep making weight. Some of the matches, there's barely any fanfare. Like when you go on the road, it's just like there's no glory to it.
It's cool. It's cool when you win, but it's like.
So like, what are you looking forward to now? Like I could finally go do this.
Just be myself, you know. I don't have
just chill, eat whatever you want.
I think the biggest thing maybe is just pressure or stress, or you don't want to let people down. I mean, that stuff doesn't matter. People say, "Oh, that stuff doesn't matter. You should just wrestle for you." But like,
no, it's human.
It's human nature. Anyone steps on wrestling mat, you don't want to lose. Why do you want to lose? And nowadays with social media, that shit gets blasted everywhere.
Yeah.
Imagine if I would have lost at the NCAAs. That shit.
Yeah. People would have been trying to meme me to death.
Imagine if DeSanto beats me.
Right. Oh man. Any experiences with Iowa fans? Anything? Any slick shit screamed at you?
Yeah, I don't really like going there. You know, they call me N-word a couple of times.
That's what I wanted to ask that, but yeah, I was going to let you fill it in for me.
After my DeSanto match, you know, we got into a little bit. I'm running off, and this dude says, RB, what do you say, Romans Bravo stall or something like that? And I just flipped him off.
Rhyme.
Yeah, I just flipped him off, and then as I was running, we run quick, and then like someone escorts us because they're crazy. He's like, "Oh, you N-word." I'm like, "Yo, whatever." But I just have to keep running.
Yeah, for real, not a malice at the palace situation.
Yeah. Well, it's funny though. My last year after the Big Ten, it wasn't after. It was before my Big Ten finals. I'm like walking into the arena for the finals. I'm about to wrestle DeSanto, and I don't know which brand's brother it was. And he just goes, pow, pow, pow to me and AB, because we were both in the finals. And it was like,
he gunshot you like in like a threatening way?
No,
or
but
like
yeah, it was
fun
just.
way?
Well, like shoot him again.
Yeah, just like he's gonna take us down. I'm just like.
What is your thoughts on like Iowa? Like what all their forfeits at Big Tens?
Yeah. Well, I don't really.
Are you cool with that? Or
yeah, I'm cool with the forfeiting. You know, people don't understand. It's hard. It's a long season. I respect it. I know what these people go through because I go through it.
Right.
So I don't like fans are talking crap online. There's a lot of, but like, kids not healthy. it is what it is. He's trying to wrestle good at NCAAs. That's fine. At the end of the day, people only remember you for
The
this.
goal is, no one
I don't
cares
care if you
about
win a
Big
duel,
Ten.
you know.
Yeah.
So I don't really care for it. Iowa as a whole, you know, they're a great program. They work hard, and maybe they work a little too hard. But other than that, like, I respect them. I got some of my boys go there, and they always come out scrapping. How do you not? You know what I mean, how do you discredit them wanting to
Do
win?
you have like a most hated coach or wrestler? Like someone who you just can't get down with?
No, I don't hate anyone. I respect anyone who wrestles. You know, shit's not easy. So, and I don't hate. I don't hate any wrestler. Coaching, they're all
Hard to
just
hate
trying
from
to
the
win.
top, I guess.
What's that?
Hard to hate from the top, you know?
I'm a good hater, yeah. I can.
Obviously, I'm sure there's some guys that aren't crazy about you.
Yeah.
Just from you beating them over the
Of
years
course.
and everything.
It's like, fuck.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, if they were to sit there and have a conversation, they'd probably change their mind. So like a lot of these people, oh, RBY, he's his footwork, dancing, flash, social media. That's all he cares about. But until they sit there and have a conversation, I guarantee they'll change their mind. You know, so it's like people are just judging from social media, but that comes with the territory.
Wrestlers
nowadays.
suck at social media.
Yeah, I agree.
Why don't they? I mean, that's a good way to market yourself.
It's true.
Get
That's why we
money,
don't see
get
more wrestling
fans,
stuff in
like,
general.
I agree.
It's terrible. Like
do-
they need to get on that.
How do
And
we
I think
change
like
that?
guys like you and Gable are one of the few who are trying.
I think you can't be afraid to put yourself out there. And not only that, is you got to be yourself. A lot of people try to be something they're not. Just be yourself, be authentic, and then find something that makes you different. Like, how can you be different? You can't fucking post.
Do you have a 100 emoji tattoo?
Yeah, I do. No one's seen that before. I got a couple little.
saw it.
I got a couple little drunk tats I got that are they're funny ones.
Okay.
But
Did you do that yourself? Sometimes people do
No,
tattoos themselves on their
I got it
legs in
done.
that spot.
one of my boys back home.
What's your obviously, Cabe, I feel like the wrestling from the outside, I feel like I compare like almost like wrestlers with like hockey players. Like you guys are all just bros and like nuts. What's like the craziest story going out with like your boys on the wrestling team?
Any frat party incidents?
Yeah,
They beat up a frat guy or something.
We've had a fair share. You know, personally, I don't fight. I don't like to fight anyone just because I already know how it's gonna be.
Smart.
They'll kill them.
I'll take him down and not let him up
Yeah.
for 2 hours. I would Khabib him until
Just drown.
But yeah, you know, I went out with my boy Shaq a couple of times. Shakur, he was an All-American.
Rashid.
Yeah, you know him.
Yeah.
He almost got into some incidents at this frat called DKI. And then, but other than that, I'm cool. They all just show me love, really, because I'm cool with them. I'm just like, yo, let me get in.
So you guys are the powerhouse on campus. Do you guys get the respect you deserve? Because the football team gets everything, even
Yeah.
the basketball team.
I would say it's probably the same, the football team at Penn State, but I don't even go to the frats anymore just because I can go to the
Yeah.
bars. So I'm over that
Smart.
stage.
Smart.
But freshman year, I was there quite a bit.
That makes sense.
But not too many crazy stories. Yeah, I think like our wrestling team that's not like we don't have nothing. We don't go around acting like we're the shit. Like that's not cool. You don't need to do that. You know,
No, yeah.
humble. We're cool to everyone. Like no problems, and that's a bad look on Kale. You know, Kale's.
Yeah,
a
it's-
See, I
great
can just see
person.
what you guys like. It's always the same thing when I feel like MMA fighters, where it's like you guys, they're like, oh, like they're the tough guys. Like, let me like throw a few back and like all of a
It's almost
sudden
like people wanna
get
mess
that
with
liquid
you.
courage. They want to try you because they're like, oh, like people think this guy's tough. Like,
I try to take KB down sometimes. Yeah.
There's been a couple, or they'll bump into me and they'll like, oh, we can go out like, but like, I'll entertain it if I need to, but I won't actually do it.
I mean, look at you.
'Cause I don't
Your
need
fucking
to.
ears.
But
Yeah,
I mean, that's always
that's
such
That
a red
is
flag.
insane. That's
Yeah.
more than cauliflower ear. That is like,
You don't mess with that.
yeah.
Yeah, a little
If you
bit
do,
too.
you're an idiot.
A little.
yeah, a little bit.
A little.
I feel like almost the
It's not
cauliflower
like
is
that.
almost like a level of like skill.
Yeah, it's like a wrestler's belt. It's
Nope.
like a no.
Not quite.
Oh, my ass whoopings got you some collie.
Oh,
See, this one's not bad.
that
You got a little
one's-
bit at the top.
Yeah.
You keep like touching your knee on me like you want to scrap.
I can go right
Doing it
now.
all,
I'm
all
ready.
interview, and I've been bottling it up.
We can run it right now.
No, I don't.
I'm ready.
You're nervous about the surface, KB? Is that what it is?
I'm not gonna get destroyed and embarrassed on hard floor.
Okay, only on mats.
We can go to Gracie's club though.
Yeah.
It is right down the street.
Gracie's Club, yeah.
There's one like right down the block.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, I mean,
Fuck.
maybe there will be a part 2 of this where we see some takedowns, some matches. Maybe there won't be. Roman, thank you for joining us. Thanks for wrestling Jersey Jerry earlier.
That was gonna be a fun one.
If you got a job offer here, would you say fuck it with wrestling MMA?
100%.
All right.
Oh, there it is.
Coming
Breaking
to
news,
Dave.
Let's do it.
All right, thank you to RBY for coming to Barstool HQ, wrestling Jersey Jerry. Look out for that video. I think it's coming either later this week or next week. And now let's get into UFC Columbus. This is UFC's return to Columbus. I think it's it said first time in 13 years.
Yeah, I think it was like 09, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to all the people in Columbus that are going to be there. I'm sure it's going to be a rowdy crowd, especially for Matt Brown. We're going to start at
OH, yeah.
OH. We're going to start at Neil Magne versus Max Griffin, which is the featured prelim on the card, and then we're going to move up the main card. We'll talk about anything else we want to afterwards. Neil Magne versus Max Griffin. I'm really looking forward to this fight. I like Neil Magne a lot. I always have, so he's the guy I'm rooting for in this. What do you got in the featured prelim?
Yeah, I mean, I like Magne. I mean, I think he definitely should like the grappling. I think in wrestling is definitely his path to victory here. I like him. There's only like I do like Griffin, and minus 240 does seem like maybe a little wide, but I just trust him more than I think Griffin. I like Neil Magne. I like how game he is. I mean, he had been begging for that Chimaev fight forever. I'm kind of surprised he never ended up getting it.
I know he's like the only one.
I think COVID was when I think at one point he was gonna have it, and then COVID kind of like worked itself out, and then now I think Chimaev just kind of like passed that in the rankings. Obviously, he's fighting literally Gilbert.
Yeah.
So. But I mean, I like Magne here.
Yeah, I was told, or I'm looking at the Barstool Sportsbook right now, their odds. Obviously, I mean, that's where you can get the spinning backfist parlay. So if you are in a state that you can bet the Barstool Sportsbook, 100% hop on there. Neil Magne minus 235, a little wide. Max Griffin's on what, a 3 or 4 fight win streak? But I agree. I feel like Neil Magny's just going to do a Neil Magne masterclass.
Yeah.
And in the clinch, he's unbelievable in the clinch. Yeah. And like, I would have loved to see him against Chimaev. Instead of Chimaev fighting Li Jing, how do you say his last name?
The Leech.
The Leech.
You say the Leech.
Yeah. The Leech. But if Magne wins this one, and this is probably his last kind of shot to really like get into, he's on the borderline of the top 10.
He's
rankings.
11, yeah.
It's
now.
11. So like if he wins this one, he'll get in there and like he could make one more run. He's 34.
Yeah.
But I don't mind him. He also seems like a awesome guy. I could be wrong.
Sounds so weird, but as I was looking through like the welterweight rankings yesterday, because when McGregor said he wanted to fight Usman, I was like, who could he fight at welterweight where you could like give him just like a fight first and then see how he does? And I was like, what if Magne has a great win here and is like, McGregor, you want to fight Usman? Fucking come fight a top 10 guy. And I think McGregor could like realistically stand and trade with Magne. So I don't know. I thought that was. I'm bringing everything back into McGregor realm, which I know people don't love. But
yeah, but is that crazy? Like Neil Magne at this point of his career compared to where Cowboy was, and
that's kind of what I feel like. He would be that Cowboy for that next one.
I almost just feel like McGregor's past like I don't want to call it a tune-up because I think Magne could have given him a run.
He could, yeah.
I don't think McGregor wants one, but like I would like to see him take a tune-up fight. The first fight on the main card, Mark Diakise. Probably saying that right. Diakise.
And this is another tough one.
I know. Versus Vyashalev Borshev.
Slav. The boy.
I know.
I love him.
You love him.
I
He's
like
like
him
6-1, but
I love him.
what are the odds on this one?
He's minus like 160.
Minus 160.
165.
He trains at Alpha Male.
Borshev.
He trains with.
We were just saying
he trains with Uriah.
He's fighting a very hittable opponent on Saturday. So
this guy, he's like a super, super, super high level kickboxer.
And I think Diakise isn't bad, but he's like relies a lot on athleticism. Is very hittable, and that's like when you have somebody like Borshev who's like can kind of piece you up and isn't unathletic.
He
so can
technical.
Stay in there. He's so technical. I think like Diakise may just be like kind of a situation like Bruno Silva again. Not Bruno Silva. Who's the guy who fought? Not Olberg. Who's the guy who just
Kennedy?
No.
Kennedy and Checkwill?
No.
Pereira?
No.
Jordan Wright?
Pereira. Who just fought Pereira?
it was Bruno, wasn't it?
Bruno Silva.
Bruno Silva. And like Pereira is just kind of like piecing him on the outside.
Yeah.
Obviously different weight classes, but I could see very similar. I think Borshev is something we could go juicy on the parlay.
I was going to say, you're thinking parlay, yeah.
And I wouldn't, because he's minus 165 on the Barstool Sportsbook right now, which is awesome.
That is pretty good.
And I think even like I don't mind him by decision. I think you could see like a, but even
he has that
maybe
like,
late, like round
he
2,
showed
round
in
3.
the he landed like a crazy knockout with left hook on the Contender Series.
Yes.
When he was a bit, I believe he was a dog. I could be wrong on that, but I believe he was a dog, and he landed like a vicious left hook knockout. The dude was stoned, sleep. But I like him. Like he in his last fight, in his first like real like UFC fight, he literally knocked out Dakota Bush with a body shot, like just crumpled
Oh
him.
yeah, I remember
He's
that.
so technical, and I love they call him Schlava Claus. he does a little dance. He like, you know when you like bounce on your like hind legs and you do like little like your legs go out.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like a celebration when he wins. It's great.
Like
I love him.
Shevchenko. Doesn't Shevchenko do that after?
She might do it in her entire routine. She's got
Yeah,
like,
she's got a full. She
she's
does
got
a little
the-
spin
yeah,
and like the little.
Yeah.
But I love ever since I watched him in the Contender Series, I just fell in love with him. He's just such like a nice guy, and he's super technical kickboxer. So I like him when this. I think he either pieces him apart or he lands a big knockout shot. He's got that type of like precision in his hands. So
Speaking
like
of nice guys that you could fall in love with, Ilir Latifi is in our next fight against Alexei Oleinik. Alexei Oleinik, every time you read his MMA record, 59, 16, and 1. That's just ridiculous. I think we all like Ilir Latifi here. I always ride with Ilir Latifi, so I could post a picture of him on the horse after he wins.
Yes.
It's one of the greatest
An
pictures in
all-time
MMA
MMA
history.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
What's
you
he?
said
Is
it,
he a
we all
heavy
like it.
favorite here?
Minus 200 right now at the
Yeah,
Barstool Sportsbook.
A lot of chalk, we were saying
He did
beforehand.
open around like minus 140, minus 130.
I really like him. I think he's got more hands here. I mean, if you watch Oleinik's last few fights, he's been really getting
He's
pieced
an old.
up.
He's
Going
an old
for his
guy.
60th win, though.
I think he's been going for his 60th for a minute here now. And it's not like he's been fighting like legit guys. Like I want to say his last fight might have been Dawkins,
Yeah.
who obviously we're going to talk about later on the card. Who a lot of standing TKOs against the cage.
Yeah.
I know he fought Lewis in the last like couple of years, and Lewis just like I think came out in the second round and just like knocked him out pretty bad.
Yeah, Spivak.
Credit
Or
to him
Spivak,
for
yeah,
still
Brad, he fought
fighting. Like,
Spivak.
what the fuck are you
Dawkins.
doing still fighting, man?
I just think he's kind of at a point in his career where he's kind of like submission or bust.
The last time he
a
beat
little bit.
somebody was
Mo Green,
Mo Green.
who's not great.
And then Fabricio Werdum, wasn't Werdum the guy who threw the
boomerang?
Boomerang at Colby.
At Colby,
Yes.
yeah, and he got very mad at
Yeah,
that,
he got
yeah.
very mad at that. But yeah, I think
so you always got
Oleinik-
to worry about Oleinik.
It's fucked up that he beat
who was the human
Werdum.
boa constrictor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you always get because he's just a submission king. But I mean,
We'll see.
I like Latifi here. Like I just think he's got more from on the feet, and I think he can get it done like that.
Kai Kara France versus Askar Askarov in the flyweight division. Askar Askarov undefeated, 14-0-1. Kai Kara France 23-9-0. Who do we like here?
This is one like I love action fighters. Like I love KKF style. I just think he's gonna get grapple fucked.
Me too.
Like I just think Askarov's gonna I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be not an exciting fight.
I like Kai Kara France.
I think Askarov is gonna just lay on him for 3 rounds.
I think Askarov.
And I think he
is-
wins like pretty. I think he just like
I think
dominates him.
Askarov might
Honestly.
be a future champ. That's not saying a lot, but I do think he's.
I'm pretty
legit.
sure his draw was it Moreno maybe or was it he beat Pantoja
Yeah.
in the last like 2 years. His draw I want to say could have been to
it was to Moreno.
It was
yeah.
Moreno, right?
It was
So I
a
mean, like
split,
he's literally
yeah.
undefeated with a draw to
The
guy who
the former
was
champ.
the champ.
Yeah.
Like he's challenging again for the belt.
Yeah.
I think Askarov's just gonna lay it on for 3 rounds and just absolutely just like. I just think KKF's gonna have nothing for him. Like if he can land a big shot, I think Askarov's got a pretty good chin. So I don't think he's gonna be able to land that knockout blow. Obviously, always a puncher's
Yeah, he's
chance,
not
but
Garbrandt.
I think he just dominates him on the ground.
I hope, if that's the case, that Matt Brown comes out in the next fight and lands a devastating elbow knockout. It's Matt Brown versus Brian Barberena. This could be Matt Brown's last fight. I feel like every Matt Brown fight at this point could be his last fight, but I think he's specifically teasing it here. It is Columbus, kind of like a hometown show. I'm definitely on Matt Brown here. What are the odds? Matt?
minus 112
Pick him.
Pick 'em.
So
on each side.
how could you not be, I feel like?
I think this is a big time fight of the night contender.
How do you not love the Immortal?
And I especially love Matt Brown.
At home,
Inside
coming
the
off a big
distance.
knockout win in his last fight over Lima.
Yeah.
Literally crumpled him.
We don't have the props out yet. They usually come a little bit closer to fight time, but when they do, I think Matt Brown, by knockout or inside the distance, if you want to be a little bit
Yeah.
more safe, or even in
I like him
this,
by
if you
knockout.
don't even love Brown in this. Even under 2.5 here is not the worst play either. I think it's getting juiced up a little bit more, but I think, and by juiced up I mean it's like getting up to that -180 range. But I think this could be one that if you're looking for a fight doesn't go the distance parlay with a bunch, you could add this under 2.5 with fight doesn't go the distance with Blades and Dawkins, because we'll probably see death there too. So I think this one isn't going the distance. That's my, but Brown, 100%. I'm with you guys there.
I'm looking at Barberena's Tapology right now. He's 3-3 in his last 6 fights, and got finished twice. I mean, by Randy Brown and Luque. So you're against two great opponents getting finished, but
When's Randy Brown going to?
You are getting finished.
I think he's fighting on one of these big UFC. I think he might be on 274.
Okay.
Yeah, he's fighting Chaos Williams.
That's who it is. I knew he was fighting. That's a great fight.
That's a great fight.
It's a really good fight.
I love Chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos is a monster.
The co-main event. This is weird saying her name like this every time still. Joanne Wood, not Joanne Calderwood. She married a guy with the last name Wood. How fucked up is that?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she is fighting Alexa Grasso. I'm shocked that this is the co-main event. It's a good fight. Is it a title eliminator though? I don't even think so. It's the number 7 versus the number 9.
That's what I mean. Like Wood's coming off two
loss.
losses.
How is this the co-main?
Oh, 2, you're right. And she lost to Lauren Murphy too.
Obviously, just challenged for the belt, and Santos is about to challenge for the belt.
Yeah, but
still, just I don't know. It's tough for
there's
me. Like,
much better fights on the card.
Women's MMA, I don't love laying the 250. Personally,
I just like laying the over. In every women's MMA fight, I lay the over, and you come up on
over 2.5 rounds.
Yeah,
I don't hate that.
over every time.
I definitely don't hate that.
I'm pulling up Alexa Grasso.
This one we probably leave in the parlay for Grasso.
I'd probably prefer to keep her out.
No,
Yeah,
I don't trust her enough to lay 250.
True.
I think there are.
She'll probably win, but I don't know.
So if we'll get to the main event now.
Which
I'm gonna.
I feel like there's not even much to say about because
And I'm gonna start adding up some so we can see the price. So we agree on Blades.
We're all on Blades
by
big time.
Tackle by wrestling murder.
Yeah, I love when you say tackle.
Because I'm telling you, when I see like a guy, he's so much bigger. He has such Doggins is great jiu-jitsu, but Blades is wrestling. He's just gonna overwhelm. He's so much bigger. I think he just kills him on the.
Blades is great. It's a shame that he's in the division with some of the people that
and
he is.
He
basically
has a chin unless you're Derek Lewis or Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
So right now I just put together a plus 447, which is similar to our last one that was around that, but then it gets boosted.
Yep.
And what I put in was, and this is a guy on the undercard. He's debuting, so it may not even be worth adding him, but this is a tough name. He's Russian.
A Russian guy laying -560 always feels good.
I'm in on that.
Kizriev again, Kizriev.
Yeah.
And he also kind of looks like a grown-up Hasbulla, like a.
Oh, really?
Yes. If you look his Instagram up.
Well, Hasbulla is an adult.
Oh, he kind of does.
Yes. If
he's got the baby face under that.
Hasbulla was, I don't want to say full-grown. Let's say he was a UFC fighter.
Yeah.
That's what. And then.
His nickname is the Black Wolf. I like that too.
Okay, yeah.
And then Magnon Fiore is who we mentioned last episode when I asked, is there any French fighters? She's actually pretty good. She's going
very
up
good.
against Jennifer Maia.
Big-time striker, too.
Yeah.
Who Maia's about finished. And then we add some of the guys that we've talked about so far. Borshev, -165. Latifi, -200. And then Askarov, -375. Blades, -420. We get on the Barstool Sportsbook right now +447. We could get that up probably the 5 to 1.
That's really good. Is Borishev the riskiest play on that parlay technically?
Odds-wise.
That's pretty good then.
Because
I don't think he's that risky.
I like him. I'm just a big fan of his. I just think
he brings it down a bunch from -165 to.
And I think
I
he's
like
worth
a minute.
putting in.
I like a minute too.
I just think
That's
what I
that?
liked. That's what I liked about you guys last week.
That's
Putting
5
Jack
or
Shore in it was what
It makes-
really
yeah.
put it over the top.
Yeah.
Because when you're looking at 400s, 300s, 400s,
It's a
500s.
6-leg parlay.
It's a 6. I kind of like
Last
that.
time was
We're
5.
we're kind
Look,
of.
we're up 13 units playing with house money.
We're playing with house money.
I like it.
And if you see these plays, you could even, let's say we get to the Borshev fight, you could even, if you are concerned, you could even hedge. There's one fight I did want to touch on that.
The Nicolau or
I
Sarah
think
McMahon,
Carol
shout out to her.
Carol Rosa is going to destroy McMahon. I'd rather play Rosa minus 240 than Grasso minus 250. Let's not put in the parlay because last time if we put who I wanted from the women's MMA in the parlay McKenna, it would have fucking fallen apart.
True.
So, but I do like. How do you say it? Hosa or like Rosa?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hosa,
Yeah.
Hobby. Yeah.
I think McMahon's like she's old too. We got some old people.
I know
on this
McMahon
podcast.
was the one who was like working out on the plane with me when I went to Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
Yeah. Which was tough to see her lose, but you know.
Oh well, I don't. Yeah, you don't
happens.
want to see people lose. We get it. Like these people like devote
Yeah.
their lives to violence.
Yeah.
Outside of Greg Hardy, I don't really care about him.
I want to see lose. Yeah.
But
I like that parlay though. 6-legger. People said last week you bit off more than you could chew. Mike the Bike, do not bet on
Done.
this. We should
I
have
don't
him
want your
banned.
money.
and then you. By the way, you rarely see Abs he's someone who loves. He doesn't hate, but when
Yeah.
he hates,
I rarely hate. Mike,
Yeah, he rarely hates.
He said those words to me. He was dead to me.
Yeah, you had red
don't,
in your
You don't
eyes.
understand. When we were talking face to face, we had shook hands. He said that. I took my hand away and I literally did a 180. I turned my back to him
It's like the security guard moving
Yeah.
the walker. Yeah.
Security guard.
I
Mike,
literally,
shout out.
I turned my back to him and just didn't acknowledge him the rest of the night. I probably will never acknowledge him again unless I say fuck you.
And another play that we like is Dvorak.
I like Dvorak as the dog.
But Nikalu, who by the way,
Or actually, he's the favorite. Excuse me.
I do. Nikalu is getting paid in Bitcoin, which I love.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for this fight, I love. Which is really cool, especially for international fighters. It's a lot
Do you
easier.
think, by the way, that they're going to make him stop shouting out the Marshall Inu?
Yes.
Marshall Rogan Inu?
100% because crypto, it's
Like,
You know
why
how-
would they not pay for, like,
you can't.
yeah.
They're gonna start. I wouldn't even be surprised if they've already told them to stop. Because
Yeah.
if Marshall Inu wants to advertise with them, then they can.
That's what I was thinking, like every fighter. But can you also tell fighters like you're not allowed to shout something? I guess you can. You probably can.
Probably can. Look at WWE. They took away like Twitch streaming rights.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck.
And I think
if people don't know what the Marshall Rogan Inu is, it's
Yeah.
like a shit coin that the proceeds of it are supposed to be split among fighters. It's supposed to
Yes.
promote fighter pay. I don't know how well it works. I don't know if they're actually paying
and
fighters.
Marshall
but
Rogan, you know what that's
that's
from?
Joe Rogan's golden retriever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who has more
Who's
Instagram
not, also not
followers
involved
than I
with
think,
this at
like-
all. Like Rogan's not
Oh
involved there.
yeah.
They kind of
I
just
wouldn't be surprised if
took
Rogan's
his
like
name.
wants to be like get my name away from that.
Can you trademark your dog's name?
Well, Rogan, actually, right, you couldn't, but they use like the logo, and it's
It
very
looks like
similar
the
to the
Joe Rogan
JRE
experience, yeah.
The only thing is, it's like not to make this a crypto podcast, but be careful with like random shit coins like that,
Yeah.
because they can like. There's
I dumped all my money at the
rug pull,
fucking
yeah,
SafeMoon.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was more Dave, but.
Yeah.
SafeMoon's a great, and SafeMoon is a lot better than the Marshall Inu. SafeMoon at least has some like value, but Marshall Inu, I mean, we want the fighters to get paid.
Totally.
But Nikalu, and by the way, I think they do get paid pretty well. There are examples that they don't, but like I think like for the most part they
I think
do.
so, too.
And they're treated very. You can go live in Vegas and train for free.
True, at the Apex
yeah.
if you wanted to, yeah.
But Nikalu's getting paid in Bitcoin. That's the only thing that's like I don't want to take Dvorak, but I think Dvorak's good.
Also, he's a guy. He's finished most of his fights.
Oh, did we just?
a little
they
line
just a
change?
line change for Fjord. Does that change it?
Whoa, they're
wow!
changing.
They know. They
They're
put
changing
it
it
down
on us in the
We're
middle of the
moving on, you're not even
podcast.
placing a bet.
Wait, there's a
we
live feed to this
placed it.
room
We're just clicking
somewhere.
it.
We
What
clicked.
the fuck?
We clicked Manuel
She went
Fjord
from minus 450 to 500.
500 because they know
Well,
like
congrats, we're line movers, boys.
hey, like suck my
3-0,
dick, Mike.
3-0, 13 units. Mike the Bike missed out on over 5.
Go bet on the Spinnin' Backfist
I don't want
parlay
Mike the
now.
Bike's money.
Unless you're Mike the
I
Bike.
don't want your money.
We
Do
don't
you
want
have
your
any
money.
other players you like?
Dvorak I like, and also I don't hate Saldana either.
Okay, he's
I think that's a great opening fight because I think that's going to be a banger.
it is.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be a great
These
kick the
crowds
crowd
are
off.
usually awesome
And then-
too. When UFC doesn't go somewhere for a while, like a place like Columbus, like the crowd's gonna be fucking like ready to
Gutierrez
cheer.
against Baccarat isn't bad either. Gutierrez retired Morales by, remember, leg kicks,
He did.
Oh yeah.
which is like, that doesn't happen a lot. And that was one of the times I was watching, I was like, Is this
He
going to
was-
be like an issue? Like,
was
are the
smoking his
best the best fighters in UFC, the best styles, no longer going to be wrestling and like
Just
ground
like
and pound?
leg
It's
kicks.
just leg kicks.
Kick
I mean,
out
that
the
was
nerve.
what like
Right after Poirier.
That was what like Gaethje used to do before he was
Yeah.
in the UFC.
Okay.
Like he would literally get like just like
World
he would
Series
just
of fighting,
murder
yeah.
people's legs, so they would just quit.
Yeah. Which, I was thinking about that. Like, that would be a funny video one day if we had a fighter come in and leg kick all of us.
Oh
but fuck
no,
it.
I don't want that.
Dude, I think
Honestly,
Sign this
today
up. We're doing it.
I will say I've been debating for the last like 2 days when I knew we were gonna interview RBY. I wanted to ask him to choke me out, and I decided
no,
I should not.
no, we don't need any.
Not a wrestler. If
I
someone's going
want-
to choke you out, let it be a
Well, no, I
jiu-jitsu
wanted
guy.
it to be like a rear naked choke. There was part of me just.
We'll get
as for-
choked out together
I've
one
never
day.
wrestled. I've never like fought in this capacity, and just being such a fan, I kind of wanted to get choked out just out of like respect for the
See
game.
what it's like, yeah.
Just be like, I should take my licks. Like as a
We'll
fan,
get
I
choked
really-
out. We'll get a leg kick. We'll get. We'll all cut weight once. That'll be fun. We'll all like pick a weight class to get down to and go in the
I'll have a
sauna
lot of work to
suit.
do to get that.
And what's another thing we get? Like a body shot? No, I don't want to do body shots. No.
Have you seen the video?
Body shots
I'm
are
about to
brutal.
reference.
I
two
mean,
videos.
when I did boxing training for like 2 weeks, I admitted to him that he told me not to drink, and I went out to some event with like a sponsor thing, and I got really fucked up, and he made me eat a body shot. He was like a legit pro boxer. I was crippled.
Oh man.
Because of
And
the-
right in the stomach, like right in the.
he like right here. He definitely didn't hit me nearly as hard as he could.
Yeah.
He just gave me a straight like one of these, and I was like,
Have you seen the video of like Habib's like at some like? It seems like there's a bunch of guys together, maybe a bachelor party or something, but it's in probably Dagestan. And Habib like just walks by, and like the guy's like, "I can eat a body shot from you. I can eat a body shot from you." And they stand him up, and he's like, "No, guys, you have to like hold him by both sides because I'm going to like injure him." And the guy Habib was like, "You sure you want me to do this?" And the guy was like, "Yeah." And Habib he doesn't even load up. He just hit him right in the and the guy just like talk about folding. That guy,
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
being choked out. Have you seen the video of John Jones choking out a random guy at like an expo?
No, he asked to be. Is he like? Can you?
Yeah, the
choke
guy
out?
asked for it, and then John Jones was like, it's okay, lift up his legs, and then he lifted up his legs, and the guy just woke up, and then he was fine because
He was like, sick. Thanks,
like
man.
John Jones did it from the perfect angle where he was like, I know I'm not gonna hurt
It's
you.
like I think you want to do it as an air choke, not a blood choke. I feel like that's what they say. Like
I think and he was like,
you don't want to cut off the blood flow to the brain because that could be more dangerous.
Yeah,
I think. Don't
Yeah.
try
I'll
this
tell
at
you,
home.
if we ever got Nate Diaz in person, I'd let him. choke me out.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean,
He's a big enough name. I would let him choke me out.
because I'm
I
such a
would
big
take that.
McGregor fan, I would want a picture in the same way McGregor got choked out. You know.
It's just like on the,
Yeah, that'd be nice. All right, that was the Spinnin' Backfist MMA show for the Columbus preview edition of the UFC.